Should Disney bring back the Clone Wars? Yes, absolutely they should. No questions asked, video over. No, but seriously, let's talk a little bit about it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sector for Nerds. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Plenty of great content going up every single week. You guys definitely don't want to miss out on any of it. So a couple months ago, I put out a video talking about the things that I would like to see if I was the one making Star Wars for the rest of the 2020s. And one of the things that I had said in that video is to bring back the Clone Wars. And basically what I said in there was like, hey, I want all of the seasons and episodes that were taken from us. I want all of that back. And then some. But is it something that Disney Lucasfilm should devote their time into? I think they should, and here's why. Star Wars is in a place right now where they have very much divided its fan base in terms of the things that people want to see and the things that people don't want to see. I do think when it comes to something like The Acolyte, that the vast majority of people that watched the show, I'm not saying everyone, but the vast majority of people that watched this show did not like it. It was objectively a bad show. On top of that, you have a lot of these other, live action Star Wars shows out there, and, some of them have delivered, some of them haven't, and it all just depends on the person that you ask. But one of the things that I've actually really noticed over these past couple years, this year in particular as well, is the amount of people that have been making reaction videos and videos talking about Star Wars The Clone Wars. There was a little bit of a surge after The Mandalorian Season 2 when they brought in like Bo-Katan and Ahsoka, but like right now, there are a lot of different people that are like, oh my gosh, man, like Clone Wars, what a great show. And people that like, there's this reputation right now with Star Wars The Clone Wars as potentially like one of the greatest animated shows of all time. It's definitely one of mine, I'll say that for sure. And as someone who grew up watching this show, I was like 8 or 9 years old when this show first started on Cartoon Network. To see the level of popularity that it has grown to for people that are getting into Star Wars, like, it's absolutely incredible. It legitimately warms my heart. But like I said, man, I was in the trenches with this show, okay? So I know that there was a lot more planned. Like, everybody can say, like, nowadays, right? Because every Star Wars fan talks about it to death. Like, oh, there was going to be a thing called Dark Disciple. There was going to be a thing called Son of Dathomir. I've been guilty of it myself. People nonstop talk about it. But we talk about it because it's such incredible stories, incredible content that we could have seen on screen that was taken from us. You notice when you go on Disney Plus, Star Wars, it says under season 7, right? Like the final season. Man, you could easily change that. If the branding of that season was the final season, everything that happens in the Clone Wars that was, taken from us can take place before set time. And what a coincidence. Stories like The Son of Dathomir, stories like Dark Disciple, stories like Cad Bane teaching Boba Fett how to be a bounty hunter. All that stuff easily can fit in between there. The only thing that they might have a little bit of trouble with is if they wanted to do the second Bad Batch arc that was planned, where they go to Kashyyyk. That might be a little bit challenging, because that is supposed to take place after the first Bad Batch arc of Clone Wars, but the problem now is that the way that they have branded it is that it takes place during the Outer Rim sieges. Like, they even have a scene with Anakin and Padme where they talk about the Outer Rim sieges being a thing, so it would definitely be a little bit difficult. You'd kind of have to, you'd have to do something to play around with it, or I guess worst case scenario, just take Echo out of that story. You'll do something, right? Just don't have Echo there, I guess. That'd probably be the thing. The amount of Star Wars fans that have gotten into this show, I think that if Lucasfilm devoted time into making another season or 2 of this show, people will show up for it. And I know there's a lot of people out there, especially after the Ahsoka series, oh my gosh, I want a live action Clone Wars. Honestly, man, don't get me wrong, live action Star Wars The Clone Wars would be very cool. I'm not denying that. But there's just something, man, that about that animated series, man, that'll have me and a lot of other people nostalgic. You know what I'm saying? It's so funny because I feel like we live in an era now where everything that ends up being good is revolved around nostalgia for certain generations. fans, you know? Like, look at Deadpool and Wolverine. That movie was just like full nostalgia, and everyone, including myself, was like, oh my gosh, this movie's amazing. But again, going back to what I was saying, I think that if you devoted time into this show, people are gonna show up for it, and people are gonna be objectively excited for it. As long as you stay true to the stories that you had planned, I think it could turn out very good. Honestly, one of the things that I'd always like to see from Star Wars as well is honestly more about the Outer Rim sieges. Talk about some of the other battles that went on and whatnot. Like, I'd love to see that. There was also going to be an arc with, I think, like Captain Rex and R2-D2. That'd be a really, like, fun little adventure to see happen. Or what about seeing the Jedi go to that underground Sith temple that's on Coruscant, the one that they built the Jedi temple on top of? Like, there's so many incredible stories, you guys, and I don't want to see that stuff just go to the wayside. Like, yes, there's the Dark Disciple book, which is honestly my favorite Star Wars book that I've ever read. You've got the Son of Dathomir comics. I've read those. Absolutely fantastic. But, like, I want to see this stuff portrayed on screen. The Dark Disciple book is like 8 episodes of the Clone Wars. That's like almost half a season right there. Like, come on, man. Like, please, Dave, do it, please. I mean, listen, Lucasfilm definitely has a lot to figure out there, but in terms of the direction that they want to go. But I tell you what, man, like, if you want to, I honestly feel that if you want to restore the faith of a lot of Star Wars fans, bring back 2 or 3 good seasons of the Clone Wars, and that will get your train started. I'm not going to sit here and say, like, oh my gosh, like, for all the people that don't like Star Wars right now, bringing the Clone Wars back isn't going to be like, oh, Star Wars is immediately saved. But first of all, you're able to cater to a good portion of your fan base that really likes that show, so that would help. And also restore some goodwill back with maybe some people that have kind of been skeptical of Disney Star Wars, and with every right to be. And that might make people go, oh, you know what? All right, you know, maybe I haven't necessarily been a fan of like everything that Disney Star Wars has been doing, but you know what? That was kind of cool, what they just did here with the Clone Wars. And that's how you start to build goodwill. Now, eventually you will have to capitalize off that goodwill. You can't just have one good show and then do something that tears the fan base down again. Like, you have to, but that would be a good starting point, is starting with the Clone Wars, and from there you build your goodwill with the fans back up, because I have said before that Star Wars has definitely lost the goodwill of the fans, whether you like what they're doing over there or not. And look, man, I've said it before, I think that Star Wars has made some good shows. I think they've made some not so great shows. But above all else, I am still a Star Wars fan and will be till the day I die. But at the end of the day, it's like, all right, I do want good quality Star Wars stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, if I gotta go back and just watch, like, you know, the movies forever, if I have to watch, like, The Mandalorian or Rebels or Clone Wars and not have to worry about any of the other new stuff because it ends up all being crap, like, so be it. But, you know, I would like it if it was Star Wars content that I enjoyed, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, you guys, I think that's gonna wrap up all my thoughts on this today. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this. Do you guys want to see the Clone Wars come back? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. That will wrap us up for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video with others to help support the channel, and I will see you guys next time.